Alright everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. And today we're going to be talking about one of my greatest loves that I've experienced in this life thus far was basically being a member of the United States Army.
Are you the kind of person who's run out of feelings to hurt?
Yeah. Wah.
Then we have the Redonkulas swag for you. And we have multiple locations where you can get it. Go to the Stream Elements store or Crypto Fashion and embrace your inner fat punisher. Because after all,
there's a little bad pop in all of us. Even your mother.
Shirts, stickers, mugs, and hats are on sale now. Your support helps keep us independent from big tech and keeps this life-saving train on the tracks. Links are in the Meat Gazer box.
Now, during my 33 years, I bounced around between active duty, Army Reserve, National Guard, what have you. It wasn't all just a straight shot active duty. Though I do regret getting off active duty in pursuit of, a wife and family. That pretty much was an expedition in stupidity, but that's neither here nor there now, because that's ancient history. Now, during the last 10 years, or 12 years of my career, I was basically in civil affairs, mainly because I had been wounded twice up until that point. And I went through a wicked divorce, and it's pretty much the only way I could not continue to live on the street. And while I was in civil affairs, I saw this, political correct horse shit get really bad. And to the point where it was crushing retention. I literally was losing between 1 and 5 NCOs every 6 months to ETS, which basically, that's leaving the service. And their main reason was the fact that despite having 2 or 3 combat deployments, some of them had CIBs, EFMBs. Those are all only awards given out for, direct combat action. Guys who, routinely 250 to 275 on the PT test, had good performance reviews, and when it came time to get them promoted, which I thought would be a slam dunk, for whatever reason, they promoted women in over these people, these men who'd actually served in combat as combat leaders, and they were promoting these young women. Many of them barely passed their PT tests or their tape tests. I mean, it's pathetic. It was always one of my pet peeves is if you come up to the line to take a PT test and I'm your grader and you stop at 61% in all 3 categories because, it's barely passing. I did not like you. I thought that was reprehensible behavior, and that's not the behavior of an NCO doing the bare minimum. But yet, these minimalist individuals, who are almost all women, there's a couple dudes in there, but they weren't looking to get promoted, so I'm taking them out of the competition. And it just royally crushed morale. And I could not keep combat experienced guys around, mainly because of that situation. And another thing that was crushing the ranks, I had dozens upon dozens of female soldiers in the 12 to 14 years I was assigned civil affairs. Not one time was I able to get one of these women discharged for failure of PT and height and weight. Not one time. And I probably sent up in 12 years' time, probably 30 packets up to K-Pock. And nothing ever happened. At the same time, I believe we're about 17 or 18 male soldiers who were discharged for failure to meet PT standards. So, I mean, it was nothing but a huge game of double standards. And I can't tell you how many times I had incompetent officers or mediocre officers put in charge, and it was virtually impossible for the enlisted to have their voices heard. And thus, civil affairs pretty much died on the vine because of that. And in the news today, I'm just going to show it to you. This is crazy. This is from Not to Be. Equity and treason achieved. America's first trans Army officer charged with spying for Russia. Army trans officer and John Hopkins doctor wife. All right, so this is the dude at, or the him, she, and his squeeze. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. Records Russian senior officers at Fort Bragg, the home of the Delta Force Special Operations. And they do have a compound out there, and you're pretty much not allowed to be within a click of its fence without having questioned by the SPs and the MPs. There's quite a few times I road marched by there, and they literally rolled up on me. I had to pull out my ID, identify myself, and just tell them I was road marching, and, they just said, okay. And they let me be because, I was technically supposed to be there. Now, I'm just saying I was never an actual member of Delta Force, okay? That never happened in my career. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying while at Fort Bragg, doing other things in my military career to stay in shape, I road marched out and about, and that's what happened. All right. So this is... they're passing medical records to Russians. Now, a lot of you are like, hey, what's the big deal? It's, they're pretty much not following HIPAA anyway, and so forth. I got it. But what we're seeing here, this is a symptom of a much bigger problem. This individual here, in my opinion, suffers from a mental defect. All right, it's called a delusion. When you think you are something that you're not, it is a delusion. Okay? And it is no surprise to me that individuals suffering from this mental illness, there I said it, are, in my opinion, probably, since they're already mentally compromised, susceptible to being flipped or coerced into doing shit like this. All right? I have no fucking idea what the fuck was going through these people's heads, and I literally hope they get fucking just lambasted, because this is fucking ridiculous. We already have a problem with there's a list of 2 million Chinese operatives running around the country doing whatever the fuck they want. We have a huge problem with OBSEC, in my opinion, in regards to our industry, our, technological secrets. Because of this, it is a huge fucking problem, and it's only going to get worse, in my opinion. All right, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you here because, this has the stupid pop-ups, but I just wanted to cover this. I have one more here. Hang on. You're going to like this one too. All right, now this one I find particularly reprehensible. All right. So they're saying, military eases restrictions on HIV-positive service members. All right. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but HIV has never been cured. Well, check that. Check that. There's been a handful of individuals who were cured 100% through, and a lot of it had to do with fluke circumstances, like i.e. treatment for cancer and what have you. But HIV, like I said, is not curable. There were times on Abu Ghraib where, my blood type's O negative. I went to the cache, I believe it was at 3 or 4 different occasions, to donate blood for soldiers that were coming through from combat action. All right, so just imagine you're in a situation like that. Individual is the Hipple HIV. Maybe he's taken the PrEP, so the virus is undetectable. Passes an AIDS test. All of a sudden, we're in a combat zone, and people are getting blood from this guy. It's going to be an absolute fucking clusterfuck. Okay, and if you think the VA is going to take responsibility for soldiers coming hot for HIV, it's probably not going to happen. This is just a recipe for disaster to further aggravate and cause fear within the ranks. All right, now I'm not intentionally being a fearmonger here. I'm just telling you that they are treating our soldiers like guinea pigs. They have no fucking question about fucking with their health. And even when their health goes awry, they're not listening to the complaints. They're dumbing down what goes into the database because it's making certain things look bad because in reality they are. And this is further going to help destroy the recruiting into the services, in my opinion, and rightfully so. The people who are running the show are out of their fucking mind. They don't know what they're fucking talk about, and they're nothing but fucking yes men. All right? Yes men get people killed. Yes men throughout history have done nothing productive. They go with the flow, they go along to get along, and they fuck up and move up the ranks. Period. But anyway, I just wanted to cover this stuff with you guys today because this is really fucking important. And people need to know exactly what the fuck is going on.